Hey, Yakaho! We're back now and got another roulette, and this one is against Malus. And the team I got picked with is pretty terrible. I have a couple of guys who are, I guess, are okay, and at least one guy who's complete dead weight. I've been trying to get him to work, and he hasn't been able to work so far. And that's actually holding up a series that I wanted to post, but maybe I'll eventually get him to work and can post that. But that's going to be a dead weight guy. But one of the guys on here who's not dead weight, I guess, is Gregor the Raikou. This is the funky Raikou I got off a random catch on HGSS. And he actually had max HP, Calm Nature, and HP Grass 70. So I was like, okay, I got to use this guy then. So he's really slow. He's definitely not going to be outspeeding Gengars or anything remotely close to Gengars anytime soon. Think about Calm Mind, but it's a little bit too early to set up. So I'll just go Discharge and take under half from Shadow Ball. That's good. I see he's Life Orb too, so that's pretty nice. It means this guy's got good special defense after all. I think his EVs are in HP and defense though. So I Discharge, and I don't really want to switch over to HP Grass in case, you know, I'll scout for a ground if need be. This is one of the weird things about this Raikou is when you use non-standard sets, you know, you don't know how people you can probably predict how people are going to predict your standard sets, but you don't know how people are going to predict your non-standard sets. So he gets a critical hit here, which is kind of big. That would be a dead Gengar and not a dead Raikou. And at the time, I didn't know how big it was going to be, but it winds up to be pretty darn huge once you see the rest of his team. Anyway, Sin Skull Man, this is my old one. It's got Shadow Sneak, so I'll be able to scare him out, and also the vid's picking up in pace now. So I scare him out, and in comes a Shiny Magnezone, and that's gonna take. Oh, critical hit from Shadow Sneak. So that's it's crit for crit. That's completely offsets the hacks, right? This guy has Ice Punch, and I think actually in Zat I make the Yum face to him to imply that I have Earthquake, because my other one does have Earthquake, and I think he actually thinks that I have Earthquake since he goes into Wheezing here, but I don't have Earthquake on that thing, I just have Ice Punch. So I send in Pirate Man. I haven't got to use him in a long time either. See how well he does with Surf. I thought about Taunt, but I figured, I want to play safe for T-Bolt, so I taunt him now after he misses Will-O-Wisp, and yep, I am able to avoid him using Pain Split, so I'll just Surf him to death as yeah, I'll just keep surfing, and now he shows me T-Bolt. I'm like, wow, okay, that's good for you that you have it, but I don't think that series of moves could have gone, considering his moveset, I don't think that series of moves could have gone any better for me than it did. I dodged a Will-O-Wisp, got some damage on him, I taunted his Pain Split, and then I lived, despite being minus defense, special defense nature, lived his T-Bolt. So in comes a Gara, which isn't a Gara. But it can pretty much have the same moveset as Gara, so he DD's up, and I don't want to let him get a free DD. I'm going to crunch him down, and I noticed he had leftovers, so I wanted to get as much damage on him as possible. I could have taunted him to prevent additional Dragon Dances, but I've got Quick Attack, Choice Band, Scyther, so I just want damage on there. I don't care about how much speed he has. I'm just going to get as much damage on there, and I'm really not sure how powerful Quick Attack. I think I always overestimate it because I put it up there in the same tier as Bullet Punch Scizor, and Scyther obviously has, you know, less attack and it's not stab. So in this case, it might actually hit for more since Gator resists Steel. But anyway, I send in this guy. I end up deciding to go. You know, he's got Gengar. I don't want to go with CB Quick Attack just yet and get stuck in there on it. He gets a crit Waterfall, which since this guy is not super super defense invested, I was actually surprised that wasn't a crit, or that was a crit. But Payback doesn't finish it off. I didn't really want to explode. Rock Slide was dumb. Earthquake would have done the same damage as Payback in case he wanted to switch in Gengar. So you know, that was my thought process there. Yeah, that's why I used Payback, to guard against the potential of a Gengar switching on Explosion or Earthquake, and I didn't want to use Rock Slide, so I guess it was okay. Unfortunately, it didn't KO due to leftovers. So at this point, I have to send in Blade Man. I get him out of there with Quick Attack, and he actually does have a real Gyarados. So I Quick Attack and see how much it does, and it does a decent amount. It's good to see. I think this Gyarados is offensive and just has leftovers thrown on there, so it's a pretty good diversion. Here's a fodder dude who's not gonna do anything. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he gets to pull off a move. He just comes in here basically as a means for me to erase the Intimidate. And Scyther's at full HP, and that Gyara's back up to almost 90%. So I'm just gonna hope that Blade Man can live and go for his big hit, Aerial Ace. And 1 HP live. Scyther for the win. Magnitude would be very proud of this. And then on top of the 1 HP live, he strokes the Gyara out of there in essentially one shot. 90% or whatever damage that was. So that was pretty sweet. Scyther did very well here. I was pretty proud of him. But unfortunately this thing comes in. And I do have Brick Break, but I can't switch to it since I'm Choice Banded. And I don't really want to switch. I'm not sure why. Oh, I guess because I don't want to give him a free sub, but I don't know. I guess that was the sub Magnezone man. Like I've got a move to hit him with, but it's gonna take me time to be able to use it. So, oh, look at that! There's another important critical hit that changed the face of the game. Absolutely. I guess that's useless crit for useless crit in this case. And it comes Skull Man. And yeah, see, that's the power of sub Magnezone. I have Brick Break to hit him with, but if I switch out and then switch back in, he's gonna have a sub, and then it's gonna be absolutely pointless. So there's not much really I can do at this point. You can tell from the time the battle is winding down. This Noir doesn't have EQ. I get paralyzed anyway. Not that I would have done anything. I've got Sneak and Ice Punch to try to maybe break the sub with. On top of that, his hidden power is actually HP Ghost. I just assumed, oh, it's HP Dark, because HP Dark is technically the most common hidden power, since, people salve 31 all. And I think this may have been one. I'm not sure if this is one of his back from the shady days or not. Probably might have been. But anyway, he told me it was HP Ghost, so I just thought that was hilarious. I don't know why you'd ever have HP Ghost on a Magnezone, but hey, he had it, so it was perhaps appropriate since his signature poke is Gengar. So good game, Malus. Sucks. Oh, he told me he had a Calm Mind Suicune also, so that was 3 things that Gregor would have been able to stomp over. I checked the speeds, and he's slow, but he's not slower than Gyarados or Feraligatr, I don't think, so would have been able to do some work against them most likely. So would have been interesting to see how it would have turned out without the crit on Gregor, since he does have rest. No sleep talk, just rest. Would have been nice to find out, but oh well, that's how critical hits go. Thanks for playing, thanks for watching, later days.